We have a young man named Phil Collins, who is a contemporary of Eric Clapton and George Harrison, a lead singer in a famous English band who wants recognition on his own. He has a new album out which is called Face Value, and we'll hear some results of that tonight and talk with a young man named Phil Collins, who is very strongly identified with the group Genesis. I think he is still with them, but he has a single album out, and we will find out whether or not he plans to leave Genesis so that it can be in the New York Times in the morning. Next up tonight, we have Mr. Phil Collins. Next up from New York tonight, Mr. Phil Collins, Mr. Phil Collins, Mr. Phil Collins, who has carved out quite a reputation for himself as the lead singer for a British group called Genesis. One day he decided to step out from behind his drum set to show what he could accomplish on his own, and the result is a fine and impressive album whose title reflects the candor of his lyrics and his music. It's called Face Value. Here to sing You Know What I Mean from that album is Mr. Phil Excuse me.
In the air tonight.
Here to sing In the Air Tonight from that album is Mr. Phil Collins, right here.
Coming in the air tonight, oh Lord. Well, I've been waiting for this moment for all of my life, oh Lord. Now can you feel it coming in the air tonight, oh Lord, oh Lord. Well, if you told me you were drowning, I would not lend a hand. I've seen your face before, my friend, but I don't know if you know who I am. Well, I was there and I saw what you did. I saw it with my own two eyes. So you can wipe off that grin. I know where you've been. It's all been a pack of lies, and I can feel it coming in the air tonight, oh Lord. Well, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life, oh Lord. I can feel it coming in the air tonight, oh Lord. Well, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life, oh Lord, oh Lord. Don't worry. How could I ever forget? It's the first time and the last time we ever met. But I know the reason why you keep your silence up. No, you don't fool me. Well, the hurt doesn't show, but the pain still grows. It's no stranger to you and me. moment for all my life. Oh Lord, I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, well I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Oh Lord, I can feel it in the air tonight. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. Well, I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Oh Lord.
Back with Phil Collins, who I think will be doing You Know What I Mean later on in the show. I mixed up the titles there, and I apologize for that. I hate to introduce the wrong person doing a song and not have the song right. Now, he told me in the break that when you used to audition for talent, you sang the ballad of Davy Crockett early on in your life.
Yeah,
that was your big song.
I used to win talent. Well, I sometimes won them, but I used to sing the ballad of Davy Crockett, and Davy Crockett and Fess Parker has always been one of my heroes.
When did you give up the ballad of Davy Crockett and go into this kind of music? 20 minutes ago, he says, yeah.
No, I mean, I was a child actor, really, up until about 17 or 18.
I know one of your credits, Calamity the Cow.
Yes.
Give us the synopsis of Calamity the Cow. It's a picture that I missed in my childhood. I mean, my parents wouldn't let me go to that kind of stuff.
You missed it?
Yeah.
Yes, it was a children's film, and it was like boy finds cow, boy loses cow, boy finds cow. I never actually saw it. So now you know, I think you owe it to yourself to go out and try and find it. I never saw it in its finished state, but I actually had lots of arguments with the director during the course of the film, because, you know, I was starting to grow up and he wanted me to still say, oh no, a cow. And so, you know, so I thought, I'd been playing drums since I was 5, so I figured that that's what I really wanted to do.
Mm. You mean after Calamity the Cow, there were other things in life for you? Yes.
Oh, yeah. I wish I'd said that.
I'd be glad that you didn't.
Yeah.
When you made this album, what was going on in your life besides the album? When you do this, like, I don't know if this is the first time you've done an album all by yourself, apart from Genesis, does it become your whole life, or do other things continue in your life?
Well, the album was really a result of a sort of a personal tidal wave, really. I got divorced and I had a couple of kids, and I spent a lot of time on my own, and a lot of music sort of poured out. I mean, I had the time and sort of the inclination to sort of sit down and finish songs, and that's why the cover of the album, which is a sort of that of me, and the title of the album, the liner notes, you know, the label on the album is handwritten. I tried to sort of get it over that it was a very personal thing, and the lyrics are sort of what happened, really. I mean, that's what I did.
How do you write those kind of lyrics, and excuse this question, without being self-serving? You know what I mean? You don't want to say to people, look, this is what I'm going through, everybody sit up and notice, but rather take this kind of situation, and let's face it, a lot of people go through divorce and breakup of marriage with or without children, and say, hey, if this is happening in your life, maybe you'll find something of value in what I've written and put in my music.
Well, a lot of people have said, that's really nice, you know, it's conversational. The lyrics are conversational. You know, there'd be a song and someone would say, well, that's what I felt, and it's nice that it's, you know, you feel it too. And I mean, I actually didn't really specifically set out to write an album that said, hey, this is what I'm going through, how about that? Mm-hmm. It was really, I just wrote the music, and suddenly I had enough songs to make a record, and I thought, well, okay, why not make a record? So I had a little 8-track studio at home.
Sure beats Calamity the Cow, I gotta tell you. I mean, you know.
Believe me. So I had this 8-track studio at home, and I was doing it in my leisure time. You know, if it wasn't happening, then I'd just go downstairs and do something else, and come back up a couple of hours, days out, you know, weeks later, and carry on. So it was done at an emotional right moment.
Why would you do it at a studio in your home rather than going to a recording studio where they possibly have better facilities, or it might be a little bit more convenient to make a record?
Because I don't believe you can actually switch on and switch off that kind of emotion. I mean, I used to just,
I mean, I wrote songs. I mean, I sat down at piano and wrote like the one you'll hear later. I mean, the words and the music came at the same time. And if it didn't happen, I mean, I believe that when someone buys a record, you should really buy the record and listen to it and say, well, this is where this bloke is at. And you can't go into a studio. I'm rebelling against this, if you know, in my own little way, that you can't go into a studio at 12 in midday and sort of someone says, okay, we'll be a genius from now until 6. And then at 6 o'clock we be a non-genius
Switch off genius and go have dinner, yeah.
And then from 7 o'clock till midnight you're a genius, and then from midnight you can't be a genius because there's someone else coming to the studio. But you can't do that and make an album that really sort of comes from the heart. So I tried to do it, never mind, you know, the actual sound quality, just tried to do it when it felt good, when it felt right.
Maybe we should do television programs on our own homes too. Come to think of it, you know, why
back to my place.
No, but I mean, I just get up in the morning and say, I think we'll do the show at home this morning. And,
well, you know, obviously,
why come in here at 5:30 in the afternoon if I don't feel like it? Or if you don't feel like it, it's ridiculous.
It is. I know it's an ideal.
I mean, the cook and the servants would be upset, but these things happen in life.
You don't want to keep those drivers waiting all day either, do you?
No, that's a bad thing to do. The limos do have a tendency to line up in front of my house. Mr. Phil Collins has a song coming up which is called You Know What I Mean, which is also based upon these experiences that we've been talking about. The title of the album is called Face Value, and we accept you as such, and I thank you for being here tonight. Our pleasure. Mr. Phil Collins. We'll continue with Thomas Hearn to talk about boxing right after these announcements. Another song by Phil Collins. Phil is back with us now, and this time I've got the song right. You know what I mean? Here is Phil Collins.
Just as I thought I'd made it, you walked back into my life, just like you never left. Just as I learned to be lonely, call out to tell me you're not sure if you're ready. Oh, but ready or not, you'll take what you got and you'll leave. Oh, leave me alone with my heart. It's broken in two and I'm not thinking too straight. Just leave, oh, leave me alone with my dreams. 'Cause I can do without you. You know what I mean. Wish I could write a love song to show you the way I feel. Seems you don't like to listen. Oh, but like it or not, you'll take what you got and you leave. Oh, leave me alone with my heart. Putting the pieces back together again. Oh, just leave me alone with my dreams. You've taken everything else. You know what I mean.